Okay, I had to break the joint out. So part two uh, of my first deployment to catch y'all up. I'm tasked on the side quest of going on this first deployment. I'm hearing about all this money. Um, get boots on the ground. It's this training evolution that come to find out it was the real deal. It was combat. It was like they was at war. The next morning we were debriefed like, hey, they were able to suppress the forces through all the allies and our forces. We suppressed the Taliban. Good job. Remain vigilant and all this other good stuff. So we was like shocked, like, yo, that junk was real. We was just out there, like not out there with them, but we were not hunkered down. Everybody else was like gone. And I don't know why nobody came to get us, but everybody else was like gone. It was just the four of us watching it like this. Oh my God, this is amazing. So anyway, fast forward, that night we're in Tent City and we're in this big tent. I forget what the name of it's called, but 30, 40 man tent, plyboard on the floor, rats, camel spiders, the full nine, cots. So we turn it in for the night. And in the middle of the night, you could hear pop, pop, boom, like that. So I get up. I don't say anything. I'm like, man, what was that? Boom. So somebody else pop up. Oh, what's that? Oh my God. Now everybody else is popping up. We're being attacked. Get down, lock and load. So we all grab our M16s and we land on the floor. I'm like, yo, I'd rather go outside and fight the Taliban than lay on the floor with the rats and the camel spiders. I'll take the enemy for 500, Alex. Okay. I just don't want to be on this floor. Now, mind you, my man was like, lock and load. So we dropped down, lock and load. And we locked and load our M16. Everybody just click, 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 click. So mind you, we're still in the tent. We are locked and loaded on our M16s, aiming at each other. And so the only thing it took was one good person to just bust up in there and we just start letting off, killing each other. So I'm beside my man, and I was like, bro, yo, we aiming at each other. Everybody's like locked and loaded, like, on one side and on the other side. So we all aiming at each other, locked and loaded. I know fingers was on the trigger. There was no such thing as finger off the trigger back then. His fingers is on the trigger. So I laid my rifle down. He laid his rifle down, and we got as flat as we could. It was like, oh God, please, can we just go out there and fight the people? I don't want to be in here no more with these guys. I don't like it here no more. So after about an hour, and I'm worried about rats and camel spiders too. I'm just like, ugh, I just don't want to be in here. After about an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Let's say 45 minutes. After about 45 minutes, hour, threat subsided. We were able to, decock and get some sleep. And I was like, oh my gosh, this was crazy. The next day, there was nothing happened the next day. But overtime, fast forward, I'm still doing my by myself thing. So the E6 was in charge of getting us, separating us by platoons and units and stuff like that. So my cook unit, we had a tent to ourselves. And so the E6 female was like, all right, y'all find a spot and, set up, make sure the tent is nice. I'll be back. So we all set up. I'm beside my man. And so she come back. She was like, hey, I want your spot. Now me, I'm fresh from the hood. You know what I mean? I'm fresh from the hood. Like, you ain't just taking stuff from me. Like, nobody has ever just taken. I was not one of those guys. I wasn't the person that started the fights because I was fearing my parents. But I wasn't one of those guys. You ain't gonna just like take nothing from me. That's not the type of game that we playing. And so, out of all the, how I saw it, out of all the spots you could have taken, or you came directly to me and was like, move your stuff. And I was like, nah, I ain't moving that jump. She was like, you better have that joint packed up and moved by the time I get back, or else. Now, you done said or else. I'm like, hold my beer, dog. So my man was like, yo, what are you gonna do? And I was like, what do you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna be right here when she get back. So here she comes trotting back. Maybe about an hour or two later, we all set up. Everybody's stuff set up. I had her stuff in a nice plot in the middle of the tent. I had the corner. Like, I thought I told you to move your stuff. And I just looked at her. And so she got up in my face. And so, I ain't say too much. I ain't back talking to them, but I wasn't backing down. And so I was like, this chick don't know me. Like, I will take one of these rocks right here and I'll just like boom real quick. So I guess that kind of got out to the wrong person. And so Mama Beecham got word of it. Mama Beecham was the E7 in charge of everybody. So I call her Mama Beecham because she was like a mother figure. More than the supervisor. Of course, she was my supervisor, somebody to be feared, somebody to be revered and respected. But it got back to her. It was like, no, not him. He's super nice. Everybody saw me as this sweet, innocent person, which I was. All right, don't do me like that. But stick around, stick around for part 3.